Hello, welcome to Hindi Reading Class 6C. Today we're going to discuss the dental soft D sounds. So here's a question. In English, is D aspirated or not? Let's try to find out. Place your hand about an inch from your mouth and say the following words and see if you feel air on your hand. Dumb, dolt, scold, doom, dim, drum, rid. Did you feel air? Well, depending on what you felt, then you will know what you will have to work on in Hindi. If you felt air sometimes and not other times, you know you'll have to work on control. If you didn't feel any air at all, then you'll have to work on creating air. So, there are two kinds of D in Hindi as well. We talked about T, but there are two kinds of D. The first is the soft D. That joke only makes sense in American English. And the second is the hardy, hard D. Okay, so soft D is made with the tip of the tongue touching the mid bottom of the front teeth, just as before, right there. And like we said before, we don't want to touch the bump behind the teeth. No touching of gums. We only want to touch the teeth. Right? We only use the tip of the tongue. Okay, so if you're looking at yourself in a mirror doing this, this is what you'll see for the most part. The, the, your teeth, the, the. Your teeth will be touching, will be clearly seen touching the bottom of your front teeth. Not underneath, just the back bottom portion. And so these sounds are called dental. Why? Because they touch your teeth. Yes, dental. Hmm. Have you ever wondered what happens if an Indian person loses their front teeth? Ah. All right. So here is the first sound, and this is the soft D sound that's dental with no ear. The, 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 the. And just to clarify, this is actually nothing like the D in the word dog. The only thing is the movement your throat makes, but your tongue position is completely different. The. And then this is a D sound with air using the tongue, the soft D dental tongue uh, with air aspirated. Duh, 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 duh. Okay, so let's practice hearing them. First one is the, second one is the. So I'm going to say one and you tell me which one it is. The, number one, the. That was number two, the. That was number two, the. That was number two, the. That was number one, the. That was number two, the. That was number one, 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 the. That was number two, the. That was number two, the. That was number two, the. That was number two. The. That was number one. The. That was number two. The. That was number one. The. That was number two. The. That was number one. 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 The. That was number two. The. That was number two. The. That was number two. The. That was number one. The. That was number two. The. That was number one. The. That was number two. The. That was number two. The. That was number one. The. That was number one. Okay. Here is where I give you the opportunity to say both, but since we're not in a class, I won't do that. But number one is the, number two is the. And remember, you're using the tip of your tongue touching the mid bottom part of your top front teeth. Of course, aspiration changes the meaning of words. If there's nothing else we've learned so far, it's aspiration changes the meaning of words. And as you're learning, tongue position changes the meaning of words. But let's focus on aspiration. First one, dar is a period of time. Dar is a large dove or a kind of sugarcane. Bodhi is feeble and weak, whereas bodhi is perfect knowledge. Do means give. Do means wash. Dan is donation. Dhan is a rice plant. Done, sound of a gun, like shooting. Done, wealth. Dar is a rate or a tariff. Dar, to pick it. Duni, double. Dhuni, smoke. Dar is an impaling stake. Dhar is current. Doot is a messenger. And Dhoot is abandoned. Amazing, the power of aspiration. So your homework will be practice the sound with your hand about an inch from your mouth until you can say it without feeling air. This should not be a problem for you, hopefully. And then the harder one may be practicing the sound with your hand 1 inch from your mouth until you can consistently sing while feeling air. And remember, using the tip of your tongue and your two front teeth, the bottom part. Practice alternating between saying the and the, right? Until you have full control. Listen for the difference between the two, and of course, you can write them out. It helps. You write it and then you say it. Of course, your hand kind of has to be over your mouth. So, listen to as much spoken Hindi as possible, and start trying to figure out if you can tell when people say the and the. Okay. Now we're going to go through practice, as we always have, using the Ross method, which means repetition, one syllable at a time, one word at a time, and starting slowly. So, first syllable, do, do. And then we have this ra, but of course we don't pronounce at the end, so we combine it into one syllable, dur, dur, dur. Where is your hand? If your hand is not in front of your mouth, then you're doing it wrong. Remember, no air. Dur, dur. First syllable, di. Is the vowel short enough? Di. No air, di. And of course we have na, but we have to combine it. Din, din, din. Din. First syllable. Do. Do. Is it short enough? Do. Is tongue position right? Do. Ni. Short enough? Do. Ni. Ya. 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 Dunya. 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 First syllable. De. Is it short enough? Tongue right? Okay. De. Ya. 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 Dia. 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 De. Ya. De. Ya. Dia. 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 First syllable. Da. And of course we have la, but we have to combine it because we don't pronounce a. So we have one syllable. Dal. No air. Dal. Dal. Remember, long ah. Dal. Stretch it out. Dal. 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 First syllable. Da. Second syllable. Ru. Da. Ru. Da. Ru. Da. Ru. Da. Ru. Daru, 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 daru. Don't drink it. First, they, they. Of course, we have but we have to combine it, so we get Dave, Dave, Dave. If you remember the difference between Hindi, this Hindi sound in English, remember the front of your top front teeth are behind your bottom lip, creating slight friction or sometimes no friction. Dave, 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 Dave. First syllable, the. Second syllable, ka, followed by la, which becomes kal. Remember that's aspirated. We kal. So the, no aspiration, followed by kal, aspiration. The kal, 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 the kal. First syllable, de, de. Short enough, de. Tongue placed right, de. Second syllable, ma, followed by ga. So we have to combine. So we have de, mag, 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 demag, 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 demag. First syllable, de. And of course we have la, but we combine it because we don't pronounce at the end. Dil. Is the vowel right? Dil. 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 First syllable, do. Number should be a short like someone punching in your stomach. Do. Do. And end with k, right? Duk. Duk. Aspirated, non-aspirated, followed by aspirated k. Duk. So we feel no ear here, do, but we feel ear here, k. Duk. 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 First syllable. De. De. Then we have sh, but we have to combine it to one syllable. Dish. 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 First syllable. De. De. Second syllable. Ka. Aspirated. So non-aspirated, aspirated. De. Ka. Wind. No wind. Wind. No wind. Wind. De. Ka. De. Ka. De. Ka. Where's your hand? If your hand's not in front of your mouth, you're not doing it right. De. Ka. De. Ka. De. Ka. De. Ka. Deka, 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 deka. First syllable, ooh, wrong. Let's move on. First syllable, da. Remember, ah, da, da. Second syllable, ra, da, ra, da, ra, da, ra, da, ra. Dora, 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 Dora. This is easy. Do, do. Okay. First, D, D. Second, G. Short enough? G. No ear. DJ, 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 DJ. Last, A, A, A. All right. D, J, A, 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 D, DJ, 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 DJ. First syllable, do. Is it short enough? Do, do. Second syllable, ah, ah, do, ah, do, ah, do, ah, do, ah, dua, 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 ma, ma. Second syllable, ju, followed by the, but we have to get rid of so we're left with Jude. No ear. Jude, Jude, ma, 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 Jude. You know, something interesting just came to me is that it sounds like a southern A. Ma, okay, sorry. Ma, Jude, 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 Ma, Jude. First syllable, ra. No ear. Remember, no ear. Ka. Neither heard nor felt. Ka. Second is da, followed by ma, but chop off the at the end, left with dumb, with a soft D. Dumb, dumb. Ka, no ear. Dumb, no ear. Ka, dumb. 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 Kadam, 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 kadam. First syllable, e, e, e. Is it short enough? E. Second syllable, ra. Is it long? Ra, ra. Last syllable, da. Soft D, no air. So we get I, ra, da. I, ra, da. I, ra, da. I, ra, da. Ira, da. Ira, da. Ira, da. Ira, da. Irada, 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 irada. First syllable, a, no ear. Unlike English, no ear. A, a. Second syllable, G, a, G. No ear again. A, G, a, G. be, chi, be, chi, be, chi, be, chi, be, chi, be, chi. Last syllable, da, be, chi, 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 da, Bechida, 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 no air. First syllable, remember? Closed mouth cat. Bear, bear, bear. No ear. Bear, bear, da, 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 bear, da. Beda, 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 beda. First syllable, ba. Second syllable, ya. Last syllable, da. So what do we get? Fire, 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 da. 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 First syllable, hey, hey. Short enough. Hey. Second syllable, da. Hey, da. Hey, da. Hey, da. Hey, da. Hey, da. Hey, da. Da. Last syllable. Ya and the, of course, we have to combine them. So yat. He da 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 yat. Hidayat. 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 Of course, remember here we have two soft letters, a soft D, dental D, and dental D, neither of which are aspirated, but ha, of course, is aspirated. So he, aspirated, da, not aspirated, yat, not aspirated. Hidayat, hidayat, hidayat. First syllable, the. Second syllable, he, the, he, the, he, the, he, the, he, dahi, 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 First syllable, ga, no air. Ga, ga. Second syllable is da, followed by ra. Of course, we drop the last a, leaving us with da. Ga, dar. Ga, dar. Ga, dar. Ga, dar. Qadar, 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 qadar. Remember, no air. Qadar, 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 qadar. First, ba, no air. Ba. Second, da, followed by la. Now, of course, we have to combine the last two to make dal. Ba, dal, ba, dal, badal, 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 badal. Now we get to aspirated dental D, dha. So dha, and of course it ends with na, but this becomes one syllable, dhan, 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 dhan. Now this should be of particular interest to you because this is actually the first syllable of what? Dhanyavad. Yes, maybe you've had the experience of someone correct you saying, oh, you're not saying that right. This is aspirated dha followed by na. Dhan, 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 dhan. First syllable, dhi, aspirated. You should feel it. Dhi, dhi, aspirated dental D. Dhi, dhi. Second syllable, ma, dhi, ma, dhi, ma, dhi, ma, dhi, ma, dhi, ma, dhi, ma. धीमा 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 धीमा. First syllable, dha, dha, dha. And of course we have wara, but we have to combine it because we don't pronounce a at the end. So we get dhar, 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 dhar. First up, dhu with air. Dhu, dhu. And then we end with ba, which has no air. A little bit tricky. So air, no air. Dhoop, 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 dhoop. So you have to, if you're used to hearing a big P for P in English, get used to it not having that P, dhoop. There is a P without air. Dhoop, 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 dhoop. First syllable. Dho, 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 dho. Second syllable. Ka. Both have air. Dhoka, 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 dhoka. Syllable. E, e. Second, dha followed by ra. Of course, we combine them. E, dhar, air. E, dhar, e, dhar, e, dhar, e, dhar, e, dhar, idhar, 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 idhar. Udhar, 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 udhar. First syllable, tha, aspirated. Second syllable, ja, no aspiration, no air. Dha, ja, 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 dha, ja. And last but not least, first syllable, they, they. Short enough, they. Second syllable, ro followed by the aspirated, but we combine, leaving us with road. And so now we have ve, road, ve, road, ve, road, air, ve, road, 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 road. बहुत 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 धन्यवाद.